So in Luke chapter 16, the chapter begins with Jesus turning to his disciples and he starts telling them this story. He says that there's this rich man who owns a wealthy estate who hired a manager to care for his land and his house. And he finds out that this man has been squandering all of his wealth and not spending his money the right way. And so he calls the manager over to his office and he tells him, "What's this I'm hearing about you not using my money wisely? Give me a full account, a full breakdown of the budget and how you've been using the money. And then after you do that, you're fired." And so this manager ends up leaving the office after hearing this. And he says, "What am I going to do? I can't lose this job. If I'm out of work, then I'm too old to start working with my hands and I'm too proud to beg. What am I going to do?" And so he gets this idea and he goes and finds other people that owe this rich man money. And he sits down with them and he says, "Hey, how much do you owe this rich man?" And one person says, "Well, I owe him 100 jugs of olive oil." And so this manager says, "Well, how about we take that contract and we scratch that out and we write 50 instead?" So then he finds another man who owes the rich man money. And he says, "How much do you owe him?" And the guy says, "I owe him 100 jugs of flour." And the manager says, "Well, why don't we take that contract just under the table here, just you and me, and we'll change it from 100 to 80 jugs." And so he acts dishonestly, clearly, blatantly. But then the story ends in this weird way. It says that the master, that rich man, commended the dishonest manager because he had acted shrewdly. And Jesus ends the parable by saying this, "And I tell you, make friends for yourselves by means of dishonest wealth, so that when it is gone, they may welcome you into the eternal homes." Now, I don't know about you, but this is a weird parable for me, and it makes me a little bit uncomfortable. The guy who breaks all the rules and lies to the rich man is the one who's praised at the end for acting shrewdly, acting wisely. It makes me uncomfortable that he's being praised for having told lies, and it makes me uncomfortable that he's being praised for giving away someone else's money, essentially. But I think what we can all agree to take from the parable is this: money is not the end goal. I think when Jesus is talking about this manager acting shrewdly and acting wisely, he is saying that this man didn't forget that the real valuable thing in life is not the wealth or the ramifications of that wealth, but rather the eternal relationships that he is fostering here and now. We live in a culture that really emphasizes what we produce. But right now, during this time period where we all can't produce the way we normally do, I want you to stop and think, big picture, what are some of the rules that we have been abiding by, that our culture pushes on us, that aren't helping us towards that end goal of fostering eternal relationships through Christ? That's all I have for you guys today. I pray that everything is well with you, and I hope to see you again soon.